Welcome to the Millers River Environmental Center. Today, here we are, we're at 100 Main Street in Athol with the bugs too, and happy to show you around. This is also the home of the Athol Bird and Nature Club, which put together the wonderful exhibit of Windows on Maine. And here you have at the kiosk an explanation of each window in further detail. And you are welcome to come here and see this on your own anytime. It's an outdoor art museum. Imagine that. You can stroll at your leisure, and I am your tour guide today. My name is Clare Green from Warwick, a longtime member of the Athol Bird and Nature Club, and also on the board. Happy to have you along. Let's go see the first window. Nature at Our Doorstep by Bonnie Benjamin. And she invites the exploration of nature of all ages. Maybe you're even in this collage of photos. Look carefully. And the next one is entitled Foundations from Our Past by David Brothers with the help of the Athol Historical Society. And it certainly honors our diverse, rich heritage, from the native Pequot people to the colonists and to the towns and corporation in 1762. I think you'll recognize familiar landmarks. The next window, Baby Raccoons at Night by Kim Bolton, reminds us of our nocturnal visitors and perhaps their mischief. And then right next to that one is Butterflies, Our Summer Jewels by Dave Small. And he certainly exemplifies the treasures of seeing a butterfly. He has the harvester laying eggs. He showcases the monarch in the bottom and the silver bordered fritillary, which are out now this summer, and silvery blue. Watch for them in your area. And then we have the peregrine falcon by Richard Salvucci. Imagine how you can appreciate the stately beauty of this bird of prey and how he depicted the peregrine falcon, seen by tall cliffs or at skyscrapers nesting. Our Unknown Neighbors by Bill Fournier brings alive the incredible diversity of a wetland habitat. You could stand and gaze at this and just feel the richness of this diverse habitat. You could smell it almost. There are so many animals and critters to name here. The next window, Native Plant Portraits by Heidi Kleiner and Sue Paju, remind us that natives need to be protected. And artist Heidi says that the dandelion is the only plant represented that is not native, and possibly it might have come over on the shoe from a colonist. On the other side, we have the ABNC and Emmerich window by Casey Williams, and she helps us to recognize the important people and places advocating for our future. We have Alan E. Rich at the top, and he was an educator here who has passed on, but there's a park next door dedicated in his honor. And then there is Bob Coyle in the center, who was a former educator in Athol and founder of the Athol Bird and Nature Club. And then down below we have Dave Small represented, who is our current president of Athol Bird and Nature Club and was a student of Bob Coyle. And he certainly continues to open our hearts and eyes to the natural wonders of the world that surround us. And the window next to them is by Susan Marshall, and she entitled it Metacomet or King Philip. And here stands this tribute to our native heritage. Metacomet, or known as King Philip, held councils at this rock in Royalston. This window by Susan Marshall represents the fish, and she entitled it Miller's River Native Fish. We have the chained pickerel up here. How do you think it got its name? If you look closely at the scales, and it looks like a chain is within the pickerel, and then you can notice the nose is slightly, the mouth with what looks like a nose is scooped down. And here we have the brook trout that I believe if you're a fisherman or go out fishing, you're happy to find the brook trout, and they make a tasty meal. But look at how the light comes through. You could almost feel like you could jump into this water on such a hot day like today. Susan Marshall did a lot to help spearhead this whole Windows on Main event and participation. Here we have two windows by the same artist, and the first one by Justin Beattie is called The Riverside, and he alludes to the vital relationship of the importance of water and how we need to appreciate the water from long ago, from the time of indigenous people to nowadays. And that canoe almost could be a dugout canoe made by a Native American. In years past, the natives would hollow out a felled tree. First they'd burn it out, and then they would dig and use their awls and adze and stones to empty out the charred bark, and they would end up with a beautiful canoe that was functional and could float on the water. Once again, just beautiful imagery of nature. Justin Beattie also did what he is calling teacher's pet. And the reason he's calling it teacher's pet, he wants us to remember how we learn from the animals. And we are not separate in nature, but we are one with nature. And in being one with nature, we need to learn how to take care of it, how to appreciate it, and how to just be in wonderful living. The next one is by Carrie Stone, and she calls it Dragonflies Over the Lake. And she happened to be leaving Laurel Lake one day, which is another reserve by Irving, and if you happen to be there, maybe you'll see the dragonflies ovipositing, dropping eggs into water, or you'll be amidst a swarm of dragonflies. And that's what happened to her. And at the time, she didn't know that that's what could happen, and she was just mesmerized by the beauty and the clipping of their wings, and she was just immersed with the beauty of the dragonflies. So she went to task to paint it, and she also says she painted dragonflies all that summer because of that nature inspiration. And the last 14th window, and might I remind you or say that each window is 54 inches by 54 inches, and they've been put on metal, so we hope that they will endure for a long, long time. And that is, the last window is by Tom Wyatt, and he calls it A Moment at Dawn. And the beauty and the color that dawn presents over a body of water was captured. He goes on to tell in his story that once that picture was taken, all the colors changed. So he was feeling very fortunate to capture. And I would ask each of you, if you're home, if you have a paper bag or even a piece of paper, and you can measure it to the window that you have in your house, and you put, you could paint it, you could collage, you could color, and make your own windows on Main. You could copy one of these here There's nothing wrong in copying what another artist has done, so long as you say, I've tried to do my interpretation. Or you could do it from a time that you took a nature hike, or draw your favorite flower or animal. And when you have completed your own project, I have not done one yet. I'm just showing you the size of a paper bag, and you know, if you can cut it and open it and make it big or small, whatever is comfortable for you. We would love to have you submit these by taking a picture of your window and sending it to Dave at, let me look at the website to get it correct, Dave at atholbirdclub.org. So once you've done your own window at your home instead of windows at 100 Main, send it to Dave at atholbirdclub.org. Well, I've really enjoyed being your tour guide today, but please come out and stroll at your leisure, because there are so many more details to see in each one of these beautiful murals that are represented at the windows on Main Street. And while you're here, enjoy a stroll through the Cass Meadow over to Alaney Ridge Park and observe another beautiful mural that Susan Marshall put up at Alaney Ridge Park.